You were always the backup plan. The friend people called when their first choice was busy. The partner someone settled for after heartbreak. The family member who was present but never truly seen. You showed up every single time. And every single time, you felt it, that quiet, suffocating awareness that you weren't the one they wanted. You were just the one who was there. If that lands somewhere deep in your chest right now, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this pattern follows certain people through life and the one psychological shift that can end it for good. Plus, the 3 specific things that people who actually break this cycle do differently from everyone else. Most people never discover any of this, but by the end of this video, you will. Now, here's what people will tell you. They'll say, "You're overthinking it," or "Everyone feels like that sometimes." They'll hand you optimism like it's a solution. But minimizing this feeling doesn't make it smaller. It makes you smaller. Because this isn't just sensitivity. This isn't insecurity you invented. People who were never anyone's first choice develop a very specific psychological profile, and science has a name for what's happening inside them. We'll get to exactly what that is. But first, you need to understand where it starts. Psychologists call it chronic relational devaluation, a pattern where a person repeatedly experiences being deprioritized by the people who matter most to them. Research on attachment theory, particularly the work of John Bowlby, shows that when this happens consistently, the brain doesn't just feel hurt, it learns. It begins to encode a core belief. I am not worth choosing. And here's the question that changes everything if your brain learned that belief. When exactly did the lesson begin? For most people, it started before they could name it. Maybe you had a parent who was emotionally unavailable, physically present, but always mentally somewhere else. Maybe you had a sibling who was openly favored, and no matter what you achieved, the attention never fully turned to you. Maybe you were the kid in the friend group who tagged along but was never the one anyone called first. Children are not equipped to say, "This adult is failing me." So instead, they say, "Something is wrong with me." And that belief, "I am not enough to be chosen," gets buried. It goes underground. And then, here's the part most people miss. It stops feeling like a belief. It starts feeling like a fact. You stop trying to disprove it. You start living around it. You make yourself convenient. You become low maintenance. You shrink your needs so people won't have a reason to leave. You tell yourself you're being easygoing, but what you're actually doing is preemptively rejecting yourself before anyone else gets the chance. Now here's where it gets complicated, and this is the part most psychology videos won't tell you. The very behaviors that develop to protect you, the self-erasure, the low expectations, the quiet availability, those behaviors are the exact reason the pattern continues. When you signal to others that you don't require much, they believe you. When you accept being someone's second option without naming it, you teach them that it's acceptable. You are not attracting people who undervalue you because you are unlovable. You are attracting them because the story you're living says you are. Remember the psychological term from earlier, chronic relational devaluation? Here's the part science also confirms. It is a learned pattern, and what is learned can be unlearned. The brain that absorbed "I am not worth choosing" has the capacity through consistent new experience to absorb something different. Neuroplasticity isn't just a concept. It is the biological reason your story doesn't have to end here. So, here is the reframe. Being someone's second choice for years doesn't mean you are a second choice person. It means you've been operating inside a system built in childhood, reinforced by repetition, that told you to make yourself easy to overlook. That system is not your identity. It is a pattern. And patterns have exits. There are 3 things that people who break this cycle do differently. 1, they stop performing availability and start practicing selective presence. They let some people experience their absence. 2, They grieve the childhood wound honestly, instead of rationalizing it, not to stay there, but to stop letting it drive unconsciously. 3. They build at least one relationship, friendship, mentorship, community where they practice being chosen first, not demanded, practiced, slowly, repeatedly, until the nervous system believes it. Now, I want to ask you something directly. When was the last time you let someone know that being their second choice wasn't enough for you? Think about that honestly. Here's what I want to leave you with, and this is the part I held back for you until right now. People who were never anyone's first choice often become the most emotionally intelligent people in the room. The years of reading situations, of watching dynamics, of learning to survive in relational spaces where they were undervalued that build something. Empathy, perception, depth. The very wound that shaped you also sharpened you. You are not broken. You are someone who learned to live at the edges of other people's lives because no one showed you how to stand in the center of your own. You are allowed to require more. You are allowed to stop explaining why you deserve to be chosen. You are allowed to simply quietly, firmly walk toward the people and spaces that choose you first. Not because you finally became enough, because you always were.